Hey there. Shirley and I had a great weekend this weekend camping up at Isaac Creek. Isaac Creek is a Corps of Engineer campground north of here, situated on the Alabama River. It's a beautiful place. We really enjoyed the weekend camping with a dear friend of ours and some guys that he's known for a lot of years, and it was just a great weekend. We got out of there, and when we arrived back here at the cabin, we discovered that we did not have any electricity. Now, our normal means of cooking here at the cabin utilizes electricity, and we thought about what do we need to do now, because we need to eat. Supper has to, that's a normal part of life for us. So we thought about the deal, and it would have been simple enough to go outside and build a fire and hang a bush pot and warm up a can of something. But instead, I fished around up in the loft and pulled out this kit that we used to prepare our evening meal with. It comes in a little tote sack that has the two pots. It's a Coleman product that I've had for a good number of years. The small pot, it's a good pot. It's a small pot. About the only thing I've used it for is to eat out of after I've prepared something in the larger pot. Both of the pots, the smaller pot and the larger pot, come with folding handles. You could use that as a little skillet if you needed to, or whatever. But my deal with this pot is that it's just not big enough to really do anything with. I hang on to it nonetheless. This is the better pot of the two. It holds 800 milliliters if it's entirely full, 24 ounces, brings it up to about here. And it's a great little pot. Both pots have the fold out handles. Both pots have the lid with the folding handle. And this is what I used to prepare our evening meal with, without electricity, using Alox alcohol stove. Now, the alcohol stove did not come in the kit, in the Coleman kit. This is something that we got a few years ago, and this is a great little tool. It came with its own little stand for it to sit in. The very top of it, this is the snuffer. It's got a little folding handle so that you can get away from the fire to put it out. The screw-on lid keeps the very combustible alcohol inside. I'm using denatured alcohol in it. Now, you can burn a lot of different types of alcohol in there. You can light it with a match or with the spark. It's an extremely flammable. Now, you don't see the flame, but folks, there's fire in that little stove that's getting hot. Alcohol burns with a very light colored flame. It gives off a good bit of heat, and you simply put some type of alcohol in there. This is denatured alcohol. Comes in a quart can. You can buy it at Walmart. The bottle, when we ordered the stove, we also ordered this little bottle. It says Vargo Outdoors on it, and it's labeled alcohol fuel bottle, and it holds 8 ounces. This particular little alcohol stove uses between 2 and 3 ounces to fill it up, and those two I put 2 ounces in it. It was bone dry. I put 2 ounces in it last night and heated up a can of Progresso soup for Shirley, and I put it out while I was getting mine open. I relit it and put my can of soup, I think it was chicken and dumplings, in the pot and set it on the stove. And in just a few minutes, both of us had a hot meal ready to eat on a cold night. The little snuffer, it also, this moves, you can idle it back, you can adjust your heat temperature. One of the things that I've discovered with this little stove, it's not something to cook a meal on. It's something to warm up a meal on. The stove doesn't burn long enough on a filling to actually cook a meal, to prepare something from that's raw that needs to be cooked over a length of time. You're better off using some other means to do that. And then to put it out, you simply put the little snuffer on the top, starve it of oxygen, and let it go out. Once the stove itself has cooled, you got to wait till it cools off, because the lid has a rubber O-ring, a rubber gasket inside of it, that if you tried to put this back on hot, it may melt the O-ring, and then you lose your ability for it to seal, and it may glue itself down onto the stove and you won't be able to get it off. And if you do get it off, you'll further damage the seal. It's a great little piece of kit to use in a situation where you find yourself all of a sudden without electricity or a means to prepare something out of a can to warm it up to eat. It's also a great little piece of kit to carry with you on a day hike, especially in a situation where you don't want to build a fire because everything is dry, and you may, the wind pick up and scatter your ashes or an ember and catch the forest on fire. It's a great little tool for that. And there's a number of uses for it. You can make one of these yourself out of a beer can or a soda can or whatever. And I've never done that. I've seen videos of people doing that. We decided to go ahead and purchase one ready-made. There are other brands of these, other manufacturers of these. In that little bit of time, this is still hot enough, the little bit of time that it was burning, this is still warm enough that I don't want to put the lid back on it and compromising that rubber gasket. I don't recall what we paid for it. It wasn't an awful lot of money, but it's a great tool to have in your kit in the event of a power outage, regardless of how the power outage is caused. One of the things that all of us, and I've harped on this for a long time, regardless of where you live, apartment dwellers, whether you live in a house on a lot of land, regardless, always have some kind of means to where you can quickly prepare something, warm something up, and always have something on hand for emergency situations. We live in a hurricane zone. I call it hurricane preps, and constantly remind people, hey, we're getting into that season, check your hurricane preps, so that at the last minute when some storm is coming in, you don't discover yourself fighting the crowds at Walmart or whatever grocery store to get something that's quick and easy to prepare. Always be ready. Always be prepared. Now that's cool enough that I can put the lid back on it and store it away in my kit, and it's ready to go for the next round. Again, the little cook pot set is a Coleman set that I bought, gosh, years ago. I can't tell you how many, but it's been quite a few. The little alcohol stove is made by Alox, and I've been quite pleased with it. Appreciate you watching. Have a good day.